Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so we're talking about this today because we're all feeling it, but most people don't know what it is, why they're feeling. And some of these feelings that we have aren't even to the surface. Our bodies are actually experiencing them and they haven't caught up to our mind. So, like, for example, this morning I woke up, and although I'm generally cheerful and positive every day, I woke up like, I don't know what to do today. I don't know how to feel about today. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that.
I've been seeing it a lot with my daughter, with Jolie, because we're spending a lot of time together right now. And she has had the most unsteady a cognitive and emotional response to what's going on. And in one of our conversations, it came up yesterday where she feels that she's such an extrovert. And then it happened so unexpectedly that all of her friends were taken away and she wasn't able to interact with people in the ways that she was used to. And it helped her realize how much she needed community around her to feel like herself. And she says, as she's explaining this and talking about her feelings, that she recognizes that it has to be done and this is all for the best, the way that we are responding,
Yes.
the way we're processing all of it, but it still has been really difficult for her. And so part of what we've been doing together is trying to find out what is going to work for her. So from my standpoint, being around the sun for a few decades, what I've learned is, for me, and that doesn't mean it has to be for her or for anybody else, there are a few basic things
Right.
that you can do, right? Getting sunlight, going for a walk, exercising, talking, writing, connecting with somebody like we do over FaceTime or WhatsApp or Skype or whatever,
Yeah.
on online forums and communicating what we're going through or finding things to laugh at. And so like we have this huge toolkit now where we are sharing ideas and, how do we spend time with our kids? How do we cook? Which I know you've been doing some of with some people online too. And then also,
Yeah.
how do we explore our own personal discomfort within what's going on?
Right. Well, I think what's happened here, and I was speaking to Jazzy about this last night. If you were on the part of your journey where you were really working on being here now, it's sort of like the universe went, ah, you don't have a choice now, do you? You have to be present. You have to be here now. And even for people like Jazzy and myself, we're struggling with that concept. So I think we have to allow other people to actually grieve. I think Julie had a really good point. It's like her friends got taken away. There's grief in that
Yeah.
because no one felt like they had a moment to prepare, especially the extroverts. I mean, as a introvert, you may enjoy time alone, but even introverts enjoy socialization. They don't want to actually talk to you,
Hmm.
but they like to be in the presence of socialization.
Yeah.
And so everyone, extroverted or introverted, is feeling that. Also, when home is the place that you come to in order to release from work, from stress, from friends, what happens when everything is consolidated in one place?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
now what?
Oh, great.
And
Yeah.
the next article that I'm actually writing is about reintegration, because we're going to have to get reintegrated into society, because we're going to be so used to being socially distanced.
Well, Jolie
This is,
actually made that point yesterday, and
yeah,
she was saying it through like half tears and half giggles, and like the anxiety of. She says, "I'm not even going to know how to talk to my friends in real life anymore," and it's a
yeah,
true and real thing. I can't wait to
it
hear
is, and
your
it's
thoughts
something,
about it.
yeah, it's something that we're going to have to really be conscious about. It's just like right now we have to be conscious about being present in the moment and not going too far into the future, because so much is uncertain. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so the only thing we can do is be as they wanted us to be, our gurus, here now, in
So,
this moment, one step at a time. Otherwise, it's too much.
what do you what do you say to those people who are trying to figure out what the rest of their year or their months are going to look like, where they don't necessarily have the same kind of income, and it's a habit of most people to start projecting into what are my goals? What is the strategy? How am I planning for this and that? And I know for you and I, part of our dialogue has always been about practicing being present. And we have been literally practicing this since I can consciously remember at about 16. And
Yeah.
now at
Yes.
38, it's like, okay, this is the time where I'm okay with this because it's been a practice.
Right.
But what about those who, like, this is new and it's uncomfortable?
And it is uncomfortable. And I think that just acknowledging it as being uncomfortable, is a release in a way. So I think we have to go back to things like verbalizing how we feel. And a lot of people don't have practice in that. A lot of people are on edge. They're not sure how to respond. They're responding in ways they've never responded and doing things. That's grief.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's actually anticipatory. Oh God, say it, Christine.
No,
Anticipatory grief.
that was perfect.
Because,
I love when you pronounce my
because
words.
I can't do it. I can't. Because we had so many things we were looking forward to. And now, without notice, we're having to make a major adjustment. And we mourn things that were going to happen and didn't, and things that we're looking forward to and we don't know. And so the grief builds in a very different way, which they're discovering now, which is incredible. So many people need to look into the grief work, right?
Yep.
It is the biggest gift that honestly you could be given,
So
is
just
to explore that because it's
remember
relevant.
when we were going through the process, right? And the grief recovery in and of itself, it is a process. And I know
Yeah.
that with a lot of my clients, I take them through different exercises at different stages of wherever they're at. But if you were to
Yeah.
think about condensing one of the like number one exercises that somebody could do right now, what would it be? Just a good first step.
Yes, journaling. So journaling is the first thing. Just write it down. And I find that you can do this in a twofold way. You can combine the two, which is connecting creativity, and also the journaling every day is just so important. When it's in the subconscious, you have no control of it, right? So the feelings are just controlling you. When you bring it out, and it doesn't matter how you bring it out, it can be calling you and saying, I'm upset, I've had a really rough morning and I don't know why. That's processing it. That brings it from subconscious to conscious. And that's what we need to do with these feelings. Take them from the back in the dark where we can't see them and bring them forward. And journaling just allows you to process in such a cathartic way, because you don't even know what you're looking like. Well, what am I going to write? Right.
Yeah.
And then most people look at journaling like kicking and screaming. They don't want to do it, but you will feel so much better because it's out. It's out. It's physically left you, and you can look at it and you can come back to it. And it's such a gift, right?
One of the analogies that I always enjoy is that we are like the pressure pot. And so we have, all of these feelings and these thoughts that are going on that we are actually not consciously aware of. And what those are is turning up the flame. And so the flame is there and it's heating up everything that's inside. And then what tends to happen is that when it gets so hot and it hits that critical mass inside of this pot, it starts to spurt out. And that's where we have anxiety. That's where we feel tension and stress. That's where our muscles are affected, digestive system, relationships, all of those things. And what you're saying is to turn down the heat by journaling, by writing, by communicating.
It has to come out, and we have to give it a safe space to come out too. So maybe you don't have somebody that you feel close enough with. Some people are very guarded and they don't want to share that with another person.
Yeah.
A journal is a safe space to do that, to share. The other thing is, I wanted us to discuss the nervous system, because I thought about my nervous system right away.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, I'm going to exercise, but I'm not going to run, because I know what that does to my nervous system and I need that to be balanced. So I briskly walk because I'm trying to combine the two,
Yep, that's exactly right. So one of the key things when it comes to the nervous system that we often forget about is that we have the adrenal glands, right? So when we go into the biology of things, the adrenals is what helps to regulate hormones. The number one
Right.
stress hormone that we have is cortisol. And so most people are experiencing adrenal fatigue and they don't even know it from just regular life. And I felt
And
it.
I know that I had.
Yeah, most people have adrenal fatigue in some way, shape, or form. And when this all happened, like everything around us just slowed down. There's not as many cars on
Yes.
the road. I don't have to move quickly to get anywhere. It's not the hustle and bustle of packing kids' lunches, dropping them to school, go to work, get home, da 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 da. All these things, like the monotony. And for me, I call it monotony because there's a negative connotation because it's not my favorite. This actually works
Right.
really well for me because you have to move more slowly, but I know it causes a lot of people tension because it's new. So with these
Yes.
adrenal glands, they're responsible for producing over 50 different hormones within the body. And hormones is what helps us regulate stress, which helps us to sleep, which helps us to digest foods, which helps us with our moods. So when you have adrenal fatigue, you're basically confusing the nervous system because you're pumping out cortisol at times when it shouldn't be pumped out. So adrenaline is being pumped out when it shouldn't be pumped out. There isn't that regulatory process of taking time to be quiet. And so what
Right.
would have happened organically throughout our process of becoming modern day humans is that we would have had the pumps of adrenaline whenever we feel stressed because we were being truly threatened by something and we had to get out of the way, right? It was the flight or
Right.
fight response. But now we're feeling that all the time because so few of us actually know how to take a break. So few of us actually know how to relax and take some deep breaths. And just like you said, adjust your exercise routine to match your stress levels or what you're feeling,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we can talk about supplementation, we can talk about breathing techniques, we can talk about different types of exercises and foods because this is how we help to bring more balance and stability into the biological system. We've been talking about journaling and we've been talking about different tools. You have
Yes.
an exercise that you can share?
Yes.
Oh, the
So
artist's way. Oh my God, I haven't seen that in so long.
it's so relevant. Oh shoot. I'm so obsessed with her. Can you see me? Okay, good.
Yes, and that picture of you was fantastic.
Um, so I love it, right? And I thought we could just draw from this. What
Okay.
do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's such a great tool, and we can give people something like an exercise. She gives you so many great exercises, right?
Yeah.
And so we can give the listeners an exercise.
Yep.
So the first exercise in journaling is going to be buried dreams and exercise from the Artist's Way. List 5 hobbies that sound fun. List 5 classes that sound fun. List 5 things that you personally would never do that sound fun. List 5 skills that would be fun to have. List 5 things you used to enjoy doing. And list 5 silly things you would like to try once.
We were actually mentioning foods, for the nervous system and to help us through these times. And what everyone is going to hear me say over and over again, because it really just comes back to it, is dark leafy greens. Oh, it says my internet connection is unstable. Like many of us emotionally right now. Did you hear my joke?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
No.
but did you catch my joke?
No, what did you say?
I said it said that my internet connection was really unstable, like many of us emotionally right now. Oh my God, that was a good one.
Technique, Chris.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. I super, super love breathing techniques because it almost instantly helps to distract your mind into something much more internal and peaceful. So, do you want to do one together, which is my favorite?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So when you take a breath in, and just notice it first as I'm explaining it. So you take an inhalation. And just before you're about to exhale, you notice that there's a little pause, a natural pause. And I think of it as if you're going up a roller coaster, right? So you're inhaling, pause right as you're at the top, and then you exhale. And what you'll see as we do this breathing exercise is that when you're at that pause at the very top of the roller coaster, there's so
Right.
much peace in that moment. In every single breath that we take, we have a moment of peace. So let's do it together. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so close your eyes so you can be internally aware. And inhale, exhale, inhale. Find that moment of peace and exhale. Don't try to control any aspect of this. All you're doing is being aware as you inhale and exhale. How simple, hey?
It's perfect.
One more, my second favorite. So I call this a mirroring breath. And so if you take a 3-second inhalation, you take a 3-second exhalation. It's my yin yang, right? So together we'll do an inhalation to the count of 4, and we'll do an
Okay.
exhalation to a count of 4. Ready? Close eyes, center, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale. And as you inhale again, and then exhale, notice any areas that you're holding any tension. Inhale, exhale. Relax your shoulders, inhale. Exhale, relax your jaw. Inhale, exhale. I could do that for hours. How peaceful, huh?
It's so calming.
One thing that I love to add on to that is as I'm doing my exhalations, just to give thanks for something. You know, our
Yes.
beauty.
Gratitude.
Yeah, I'm thankful for the cool breeze. I'm thankful for the sun. I'm thankful that I have food. I'm thankful that I have electricity. Or during the hurricanes, like every time our water shut off and I couldn't flush my toilet, I was like, God dang it. Like right now, every single thing that we could possibly be thankful and happy for will help to calm us and will help to relieve some of that tension and
Agreed.
and so, you know, when we start to get into these cyclical negative thoughts, which we may or may not be aware of, and just as you mentioned, with journaling or with communication about what could possibly be in the subconscious and pulling it forward, we're then really able to address it with these tangible exercises, you know?
Exactly. And I think that in order to maintain our sense of community, we have to continue to reach out to people who maybe are feeling isolated
Yeah.
and give kindness where we can, especially those who are able to, you know?
Yes,
If
exactly.
you're having a good day and someone else, you know, crosses your mind, just touch them. You don't have to get too deep into anything, but some people just need reaching out to now.
You know what? There's actually an exercise that I came across a few weeks ago that I really, really loved. I don't that when you think of doing something or you think of calling someone, you count yourself down 5 seconds. So you go down 5, 4, 3, 2, and by 1, you've got to do it. So if you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I should get up and I should go for a walk, don't go and getting, no, maybe I will later. Da da da. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up and get outside and go. If you think, oh my gosh, I really should have called my
I think
dad or my auntie, pick up the phone.
yes.
5 seconds, and by the time you get to 1, there's nothing that comes after that. You can't count 1 to 5 because 5 leads to 6, 7,
No.
8, and forever a procrastination.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good tip, Chris. I love that.
Me
I'm
too.
taking up.